What's good? It's Jordan. Today, I'll be talking to you about be wise in decision making. See, what we have to understand on this path, this mission, and this journey is making use of our time wisely by enhancing ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially in order for us to understand the greater goal at large for ourselves. We have to understand that every decision that we make, it either can help us or hinder us within this life that we have, this life that we live. And it's best that we look at our lives from a perspective of importance every single day. Because if we don't look at our lives as important every single day, nobody else is going to look at our lives as important as we may. We have to understand this when we are interacting with people, places, and things. When we're putting ourselves in different environments, understanding the environments that we place ourselves in actively, understanding how we can make changes within these environments, understanding the importance of our character, our integrity, our morals, principles, and how we treat others, how we work with others. We have to understand that, yes, we may make mistakes. We have the ability to make mistakes. But as you grow far much more older, you learn from these mistakes. You understand the importance of learning. You understand the importance of growing. You understand the importance of change. And you use that to your advantage in a way where you can help and encourage other people. Because everybody doesn't have the keys. Everyone doesn't have the tools. And if we just hoard information and we do not provide others with proper information, then others may be lost. And the thing is, we also have to understand that everybody works at a different speed, and not everybody is going to be placed in the same mentality that you may be placed in. And it's important to understand this early, because we can't be walking around thinking that everyone has the same mentality. Everyone does not have the same mentality. People see things differently according to how they want to see things. And we have to work with that and understand that. We have to also understand that sometimes it's best to keep our information to ourselves until somebody asks for it. If somebody did not ask for help or ask for information to be provided, there's no point in us trying to force information on these people, trying to make these people see it from a different perspective that we have within our minds. And we have to understand this, because we have to know that people view the world differently. And you can't have one mentality and one set of principles and morals and integrity, and somebody else have a different set of morals, principles, and integrity, and then trying to understand people from two different viewpoints. If somebody's open to understanding you and you're open to understanding that person, then it can work. But if that is not the case, then it will not work. And it's best that we look at it from a perspective where that's all we can look at it from. There's going to be many various situations in this life that you may not understand, but with time and continual experience and growth and development, you're provided the ability to understand why these things happen. Our lives have many events that may happen, whether it be positive or negative, but through the positive and negative occurrences that happen, we use these examples and experiences to shape our lives. Sometimes it may shape our lives for negative, and then other times it may shape our lives for the positive. But more so, we should lean more towards the positive than the negative, because at the end of the day, we have ourselves to count on. And we may go through many various trials and tribulations within this life. within society, within everything. But when you have the courage and ability to keep rising, to keep going, to keep putting yourself first, to keep redeveloping your mind, your soul, your spirit, and your heart, that's the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself. Nobody else is going to do it for you. We may be around a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's for us to make the proper decisions for ourselves and for our lives. It's always going to be up to us. When we have to make the tough decisions, we cannot call on anybody else, because when you call on other people, people may make their own separate opinions on what you should be doing with your life and how you should be living your life and how you should be doing all these various different things. But in reality, you have to figure that out for yourself. People can only give you a perspective from how they may see things from afar, but if they're not in that situation, they cannot give you a positive perspective at all, or if they've passed that situation. So, to be fair and to be honest, look at your life, look at other people's life, take those experiences and use them for a perspective that is far much more helpful for you and others. Because there's many various experiences within our lives that we may see. And the best thing for us to do with these experiences is to use it as a way for us to leverage ourselves in the direction that helps us move forward. Everything that we must do in this life must help us move forward. Everything. So we have to understand that even when we're around people as well too, we may be around people, and sometimes being around people, it's a tricky thing because you may be around somebody that you might have known for a long period of time, whatever the case may be. And when you're around that person, you get used to that person, and you get used to that person's company and their methods and thinkings and whatever the case may be. But sometimes what we have to understand is people change. People may go through their own situations. People may go through their own traumatic events. And when they go through these things, if they haven't worked through these things, then it's hard for us to actually be there for these people and understand how they may feel. Sometimes you can lend a hand with support and encourage people and try to balance out positives within your life and somebody else's life, but not all the time. So we can only do as far as what we can within somebody else's life, as much as somebody actually allows us to. And we use those methods in this life to help us garnish effects of negativity, because it all stems down to negativity. Somebody's in a negative mind frame, they're not going to hear what you have to say. They're not going to want to know that you have anything positive to say. But if you're able to provide a positive outlook out of the negative situation, then it's very much so helpful to our growth and our development within this life today. So I want to read this scripture to you, and I hope that this scripture helps you within this life today. Proverbs 29:11. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. What we must understand is also understanding the way that we speak, identifying the way that we speak, and trying to change the way that we speak, trying to change the way that we view things, trying to change our mentality within this life today. Only we can do these things. Nobody else can do it for us. And the good thing about this life is every day we have a ability to change the format of our lives constantly, and not always looking at things from a negative perspective. Constant redevelopment within the mind is important. If we're not redeveloping our mind and looking at things from a different perspective constantly, there will be no changes. It's easier said than done, but we got to get it done. If God provides us the ability to do it, then we can do it. But we must not lose faith on this perspective that we may have. It might have to change. And we might have to go through constant redevelopment for positive change. So be it. Let it be like that. In this life today, we have to understand that we're provided the ability to see things from a positive perspective and not always from a negative perspective within this life that we live today. I want to thank you for watching. Peace.